My minimalist life. Gifted almost everything to the homeless. Hey gang, this is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and I want to share with you my story of becoming a minimalist after coming to America as a refugee, not knowing left or right, and not being able to speak English. So let's fast forward a little bit, and now I've graduated college, and I have $100 in my name, and I don't want to get a job. I really didn't want to go to college, but my parents are Iranian, and they expected me to become a doctor or an engineer. So I went to college in the medical field, and I was going to become a chiropractor or a PA, which is physician's assistant, or yeah. But I was leaning more into chiropractic. Now, after I graduated college, I realized that I don't want to go spend another $100,000 or another $80,000 to go to school, because I hated school. I just did it because of my parents. So what I did is I lived in my car. I just stayed in my car to start my business with $100. And the business that I started at that time was a personal training company, because I already knew how to train people. I had got my degree in it. I was using personal training to put food on the table, as they say, and be able to afford to go to school and not have a real job, as I just sold supplements and did personal training. Now, and what I did is, I started making some black and white flyers, and I didn't have any money, so I went to my local apartment complexes, and what I did is I used their business center. I designed a simple flyer. I made a website, and I put the simple flyer on there, and give them some benefits of why using my services. And what I did is I cut it up, because what I printed is a small business size, 3 on a page, and then almost like 10 down or 11 down. So I was getting like almost 30 to 22, I can't remember the top of my head, flyers off of one 8 by 11. And so simplified to move forward, I would print these up. I would go put it on apartment doors all over my local area, and behold, customers just start coming in, and I would go and do personal training, and sell $1,500 sessions, $700 sessions, etc. And that's why I started at. And then I quickly realized that I don't want to be in the S quadrant, because as a personal trainer I was in the S quadrant, and I don't want to be there because I could never be free. So I wanted to create the B quadrant, as explained in Rich Dad book, because at that time I got that book from someone that gifted it to me at the gym. I'm very nice to that individual. And so what I did is, getting to the moving business. So we're just trying to forward. So the moving business did really, really good, and allowed me to have 7 moving trucks, multiple locations, different cities, large cities, and made me a millionaire. And literally like almost overnight, because I was able to grow so much, and I'd never borrowed money to start the business. I didn't put it on credit cards or get it from family. Started with $100, and the way I did that is I was excellent in lead generation, and I started creating leads to the internet. And this is the era of Yahoo being king, not Google, and the era of dial-up, when there's Net Zero and AOL. No one knows what Net Zero is now, but AOL time. And I started generating leads to the internet through directories, and then eventually Google came in and created a spider. Then it became search engine optimization, SEO. Now everyone knows what that is. Back in the 99s, late 90s, early 2000s, no one knew what SEO was. And I'd start generating a lot of business in my moving company, and I was about to franchise it, because I was getting leads all over the 50 states. And I spent a lot of time and energy talking and setting up systems to franchise the business, where eventually I decided, it takes so much energy. Why don't I just cash out and not have to deal with this crap right now? And The other thing that happened is because in the peak of the time that I was trying to franchise, the economy had melted down, and I knew that, real estate was the place to be. Now, I didn't know anything about real estate. My parents are refugees, but I just knew that, most people become millionaires in real estate. So again, in the back 2006 fourth quarter, I saw that the market's going to shift. 2009, 2008, it did shift. And so I got into the real estate business. The problem was at that time, the bankers had tightened lending. It doesn't matter how great your credit was, how much money you had in the bank, which I had a lot of money at that time in the bank. I had excellent credit, not because I ever used credit, because I never used credit, but I had clean slate, and bank after bank after bank I went, they wouldn't lend to me. And I had the money to buy the houses in cash, but I wanted to buy more. So that's where I started using subject to investing. And from there, I was able to buy multiple rental properties without using bank, just using my own money. I had to put some money down on properties that I bought, not as a down payment, but some to pay the closing costs, sometimes to do evictions, sometimes to, put a couple of bucks in the seller's pocket, sometimes putting no money in the seller's pocket and just paying the arrears, which is like what that means is they're behind 1 month, 2 month, 3 months. Anyways, so I took $100, I turned into a moving company, then I turned into a brokerage firm, and then from that I turned into Mr. Investor, where I started buying houses. And so I climbed multiple mountains, and I made a lot of money from a guy that's a refugee to America that was living on $25 a week. That was my college budget for 4 or 5 years, guys. That's all the money I had every day, $25 a week. That I had to include that for gas, which is pretty tough, right? That's why I started riding bikes. Anyway, so it was a dramatical life difference. But one thing I noticed is that I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. And no matter how many mountains I climbed, how much cool gadgets I bought, or ATVs, motorcycles, jet skis, different types of cars, lifted cars, fast cars, it didn't matter. I was still unhappy. Um, I didn't like what I was doing. The business, I wasn't happy with it. I was making a lot of money. I didn't even want to go in. It wasn't a business that I enjoyed. Uh, the moving company was a very lucrative business, but it was a very stressful business as well, because there was a lot of paying customers, like pain in the ass, which is because moving is a very painful, stressful time for anyone. So, which makes sense, but it's very lucrative. Um, I didn't like it, and even though I wasn't doing real estate, I liked that. Had my brokerage. I was having too many things going on. I worked all the time, but I loved what I did, so I didn't mind it. And actually, not that I not mind it. I would go in 7 days a week. I would give it all I got. It was very cool in the very beginning, but eventually I thought, man, I don't have any kids, you know, and the more I accumulate, the more stuff I buy, I might get high off of it, like, hey, this is so cool. And then after a couple of days, a couple of weeks, I come back down. And then that was happening so much now because I was buying whatever I wanted to buy. And now I didn't consume like most people consumed. On the contrary, I was very minimalist at that time too. But, you know, when I did go buy something, I would go buy a $20,000 BMW bike, or I would go buy X or Y. And I realized that after buying these things, then, I am like consumed by it for a couple of months. And after that, I come down again, and life is not that cool. And no matter how much success I would go get, I felt like there was more to life than success. So then I realized that, man, I'm going to live once, and I don't need all these material things. And, I had some issues with family and trust, and really made me question my life, like, what is the meaning of life? So I decided to give all my stuff up, or almost all of it, to the homeless people, just truckloads and truckloads and truckloads. And the stuff that I did sell, I sold it for pennies on the dollar, like literally pennies on the dollar, because it was very, very fast process, because I wanted to just give all my stuff up and go homeless. Now, some of you guys say, why homeless, Mike? Um, I thought to myself, what is the meaning of life? Because I've hit so many successes, like people couldn't even dream of starting one business and making millions, then two businesses and three businesses, all debt free, never asking a bank for a loan, never having, what they tell you that you need to have in master's or PhD of business, no business plan, just sheer heart, just sheer creativity, imagination. So I decided to go homeless because, I reflect back and I knew that volunteer suffering is what I call it. Volunteer suffering made me humble, made me stronger, made me more creative, made me more powerful. And anyways, I started with $100, dude, and I was in my car when I was able to do what I had to do. And I thought, you know what? All the stuff that I just sold for pennies on a dollar, I could, live off that. I'm going to go homeless. I don't need that much money. And that's what I did, guys. I went homeless for 2 years. I, didn't take showers for 3 days or 4 days, or whenever I could take a shower. I slept in my car many nights. I slept in um, campsites. I stayed in some hotels. And for 2 years, I didn't have anything. The only thing I had was just me, my dog, and my car, and just a few items that I posted on my YouTube and Instagram. You guys can go check it out. Uh, and for 2 years, I basically traveled from one side of America to the other side of America, and checked out hiking trails, and you know, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Not to shower for a couple of days and be stinky, or um, hanging out with homeless people, but they're just like me and you, if you believe it or not. And it was a very good experience. And now I'm back. I'm starting out. I don't want to say I don't have anything, because I got my health. I live in America. I have a lot of great things going for me, and I have my investments going on. So I'm very, very blessed. But I've given everything up, and I'm starting brand new. And one of the reasons that I did all this is because of you. Okay, so one of the reasons was because of me, because I wasn't happy. And the other reason was because of you, because I hear all the time back in the days, people had sad stories saying, hey, I can't do this. I got no money. I live in my car. I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't got this. And I wanted to go ahead and get it back into the ring and be in the trenches with you guys and show you how I can do it again, because it's not about the money. It's not about material things. It's about the magic, the magic, the alchemy of turning your thoughts, matter into real world dreams, whatever you want. And I've done that multiple times now. And I don't need material things to be able to be my dreams. Actually, the opposite. I need nothing, right? I need volunteer suffering to be my dreams. I can't be in my dreams in the comfort zone, as they say in America. I can't be in my dreams when I'm sitting on $100,000 car, riding a $20,000 bike, having thousands of dollars of rental income coming in, having thousands of dollars of real estate brokerage checks coming in, having thousands of dollars of moving company checks coming in. It's hard to be my dreams. It's hard to go and do stuff that I don't want to do when I'm having that kind of income, and especially when I'm not happy. Now, if I was having that kind of income and I was truly, truly happy, I'm not talking about just like happy, happy. I'm talking about happy joy, where happy is the state of mind that when you get something, like when I get something like a nice car, nice knife, I'm like, I'm happy. I'm like, hey, this is so cool. But after a couple of weeks, that happiness dries out. But joy is internally. If I have a knife or if I don't have a knife, if I have a car, if I don't have a car, is to be able to sit here still and be happy. And that's what I'm looking, or joy, I should say. That's what I'm looking for. Is okay. Actually, I'm not looking for it because I already have it. But back then, when I started my journey as homeless, that's what I wanted, because I already had happiness to artificial injections of happiness, because I could buy a car, I could buy this new thing, I could buy this new phone, I could buy these things that are cool and make myself happy, but I didn't want it to dry out. I was tired of it, okay? Because it was fake, right? After a while, you're like, oh, this is fake. This is a cycle I'm going through. And so I didn't want that. And so I wanted to go and suffer like Buddha did, suffer like Jesus did, and see why do these people go do this kind of stuff, right? Why do they give up their material things to go help out people and to get to know themselves and be in isolation? Um, and so it was a very great experience, and now I'm back, but I did it for you guys as well because I want to encourage you guys through my failures, through my actions, through my defeats, to my victories, and show you guys that you can make it in America. It's a great country, dude. You just got to get up and you got to be able to take those punches, and they hurt. People talk shit about you. People go out of their way to make you fail. Your family, your friends will not support you, or maybe they will, but not a majority of them. And this is just the things that you're going to have to get. You may put money up and you'll lose your money. You may take a risk and you may fail. But end of the day, you got to get yourself up and do it again 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 and do it again, and just not take no for an answer, and then just do it again and do it again. And really, it's not about it's not about being smart. It is about creativity, but it's not about being smart or having some type of IQ, because what it really takes is the ability for me or for anyone else to just keep going whenever I don't get the outcome that I want or that I deserve or that I think that I should get, but just to keep going, okay? And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just keep going to be my dreams no matter what. And I'm making videos for you guys totally for free. I don't even monetize it on YouTube because I hate advertising. I'm sure you guys hate it too. So, and I'm putting myself out there, my failures, my, shames, all kinds of stuff, dude, because my hope is that, hey, it just changes one person's life, dude, because that's what it's about for me, at least. Because material things just didn't make it for me, man. No matter how many businesses I had, how many people working for me, I had agents older than my grandparents, man, and I never even hang out with my grandparents because I was a refugee. We had to leave when I was a little kid. So think about what I just said, right? So this is why, man. Now, why did I give all my stuff to the homeless people, man? It's just because, you know, before I used to think homeless people were just all drug addicts, but man, there's all kinds of homeless people out there, dude. There's people that are just like, life just give them a bad blow. You know what I mean? They're not even drug addicts. Um, there are people that just have, you know, psychological chemical imbalances. There's people out there that, you know, gone into a divorce or they have death in the family that they can't deal with it anymore. There's all kinds of stuff, man. There's people that live paycheck to paycheck and something happened. So before I should lump them all into one category until I walk with them and we're in their shoes, that I realize it's all kinds of people. And, I thought that, hey, man, I don't need this stuff. This stuff is weighing me down. So the reason I give all my stuff up is because I don't need this stuff, and these people need this stuff, man. They're living on the streets. They need the clothes. They need the whatever, all the stuff I don't need, man. I had so much. I had so much clothes that I had more clothes than a woman. I had more shoes than a woman, I didn't want to do laundry. I would just go to the store and buy a bunch of clothes, spend a couple $100, a couple of $1,000, just not because I didn't want to do laundry, guys. I didn't go floss my money because I was trying to be cool. I just didn't want to do laundry, or laundry was at the laundromat and it wouldn't be done for a couple of days because I used to have to go laundry cleaners, and I would have 3 or 4 huge trash bags full of cleaning clothes. It would cost me hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, um, in a month, because each stop was at least, like, each time I dropped it off, which was like on a weekly basis, over 200, $300, guys. Depends on what I dropped off. If it was suits, if it was just like shorts. So, man, giving all that stuff up, helping the homeless, not having taken my stuff to the dry cleaners, not having to deal with all this folding clothes, and man, it feels so good. Now I only have 4 pair of clothes, guys. I got 2 shoes now. Before I had more shoes than women. You know, it's crazy. But like I would have like 5, 6 different shoes for working out. I would have like different shoes for this and this and this. And now I just have 2 shoes. These 2 shoes can do anything from the doomsday if it happens tomorrow, because all my clothes are preparing clothes, or they're activity clothes that if doomsday happens right now, I can go survive in the wilderness. I can go, if the fence falls over, I can go in my clothes right now that I'm wearing and do heavy work. And at the same time, they look cool and they're really nice. And they're high quality. Now, they cost a lot more than my nice polo shirts that I used to buy, which I never buy ever again because they're such shitty quality. But the quality on these clothes, like Outdoor Research, is something that I buy now. Outdoor Research, you want to check them out. I'm not. They're not. This is not a sponsor, but I'm really loving their clothes. All my clothes are pretty much that now. I mean, I can wear them 2 or 3 days without washing them. They won't stink, guys. Because when you have 3 or 4 clothes, some days I have to wear the same clothes a couple of times because I forgot to wash it. And they're real nice quality. And I take a shower every day, thank God. But sometimes I didn't have the ability to take showers when I was homeless, guys. So I had to go 3 or 4 days not taking a shower, guys. That was pretty tough, man. That was very, very, very tough. I mean, after the second day, I felt pretty gross. Uh, Third day, fourth day, my hair's all locked up. I mean, just ugh. So, anyways, guys, I'm blessed to have a home. I'm blessed to live in America. I'm blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to be able to do these free videos for you guys. I'm blessed to have the time and the patience and the courage to be my dreams. I'm blessed that I'm creative. I'm blessed that I am. I have imagination. I'm blessed that I'm giving. I'm blessed that I give to everyone that I see. I am so blessed to be here with you guys. And guess what? And you are blessed too. You can be your dreams. All you got to do is just close your eyes and want it and never give up. Much love to you guys.